Abingdon Studios is a studio provision in Blackpool. It's been running since 2014. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, and we're currently supported through Arts Council England to deliver studio practices for 10 artists, and our project as well, which we programme and curate with national and international artists that we bring to the town to connect to our studio practitioners as well. It came about from having zero workspace in Blackpool 10 years ago, and as an artist that's a resident of a place looking to retain my skills and talent in the north, I was really quite adamant, or maybe candid is a better word, of how do we survey this, how do we explore this, how do we then campaign for this as a thing that is a basic need in growing critical mass for arts and culture, if arts and culture is a town's mission or within their value system, which it is in Blackpool. Blackpool's historical references are often of nostalgia and magic in the minds of children, who then grow up to adults and then think culture exists somewhere else, I think. But the factor of that is we are so built on engaging our younger and emerging audiences, our younger and emerging talent all the time. And we forget that Blackpool is a real good hostess of all of that energy and figuring out the dense nature of society right now. Blackpool is a really good litmus test around working culture, labour, the dichotomy of work and leisure all the time that artists experience. I think high culture and low culture in the way that we talk about arts and culture now are just perfect collaborators. You can't actually sustain high culture without engaging people from a low cultural grassroots perspective, and that's the language we use now. So when we say grassroots, maybe we are also meaning low culture, but not necessarily that's of bad value anymore. Like low culture is the foundational root of anything that we're trying to generate. And it speaks to the vernacular of people and how they want to talk about art as well. So I guess it's something for us to be constructive and critical about in what our assumptions of talking about art need to be. And Blackpool is the most visited seaside resort in the UK. It always has been. We have 18 to 20 million visitors a year. So it very much speaks to the public audience of British culture. With that, and coastal cultures in general, there is queer identity and ambition and progress mixed with xenophobia and racism. So there are those dichotomies that are always happening, but to me they're those hinterlands or borderlands where all artists should be creating anyway. Yeah, so the studio is a component part of my broader practice as an artist. So if ever I'm engaging with anybody, I will say I'm an artist first, and then I'm a founder-director of a studio space that supports the needs of artists. And then to sustain all of that, I independently curate as well. And then within that, there's common threads around looking at marginalised voices, peripheral voices, so the coast in terms of its topography, but also identities that exist there, such as queer artists, queer people, queer thinking. So that's much more metaphorical around the different ways we do need to think around the systems we operate with that often don't include everybody. So it is a broader way of looking at queerness as a way to impact our arts and cultural understanding and what the needs of people are in places like Blackpool. So yeah, I feel like it intermingles or it choreographs itself in very different abstract ways, but it's all rooted in being an artist and how you sustain an artistic practice. The studio is one of those components. I think our remit in Blackpool is not just to think localised. I think that we often say Blackpool based, we don't say locally based, and that's just semantics for us, but it's important for artist portfolios. We are representative of the needs of artists rather than the needs of just our building as an asset in a place. So for us it is Blackpool and beyond at all times, and we're at water's edge, we're horizon gazers. So if we don't think internationally on behalf of our remit in the country that we live in, then we're doing a disservice to artists' practice and how far it could reach as well.